Hey everybody, this is Derek here again to talk to you a little bit more about the Trinity and John 1:1 in particular. I know the last video that I did was a bit sarcastic. It might have offended some of you Trinitarians out there, but just know it was all in good fun, right? But seriously, it was mainly addressed toward your Trinitarian apologist, right? It wasn't really meant for the average run-of-the-mill Trinitarian who goes to their church, once every Sunday. That video was mainly addressed toward those individuals who make it like their life's work, or maybe they're even have doctorates in theology or whatever it is. They view themselves as like professional apologists. We're talking people like Scam Shamoon or Jay Dyer or Dr. James White or Kelly Powers over there at Berean Perspective Apologetics or something like that. All you guys, that video was for you. Yeah, you guys have a problem with defining words properly, like firstborn and so on and so forth. But I saw a clip with Jay Dyer talking with Metaphysics Mike, who is a Unitarian, and I'll get to some of the quirky beliefs of Unitarians as well, but that'll probably be in another video. But yeah, I mean, Jay was just arguing in circles, just asserting, well, it says Jesus is God, and so that must prove that Jesus is part of the triune God, and second person of the Trinity, however they want to say it, right? They've got their special pleading terms that they use. Pardon my dog there. So John 1:1, right? Why do Trinitarians even bother going to John 1:1? It's really absurd, right? It's kind of ironic that they do this. It just shows that they really don't understand how fatal a mistake that is in trying to assert that John 1:1 helps them in any way establish their Trinitarian doctrine. Because no matter how they translate John 1:1c, when the word was capital G-O-D or a God or divine, it doesn't help their case. Right? It actually destroys their arguments. So let's take a look at it. Right? In the beginning was the Word, right? And the Word was with ton theon, the God. How can you be the God and be with the God at the same time? So Trinitarians can't accept that text for what it explicitly says. So they have to redefine ton theon, the God, as only the first person of the Trinity, known as the Father. Yeah, but that's not what it says. That's simply not what it says. It just says the Word was with God, the God. And the Word was anarthros theos, right? Lacking the article, the Word was theos. The Word was a God or capital G-O-D God. The fact is, either way they translate that, it denies their doctrine, right? Because if Jesus is capital G-O-D, that means that they're taking the word theos and making it a definite reference. But we already have a definite reference within the context in the very the previous stanza, right? We have the Word being with the God. So if the Word is with the God, and the Word is the God, and the God in John 1:1b is the Father, then the Word, the Son, is the Father. So that translation actually teaches modalism or Sabellianism, which is a heresy according to Trinitarians. Now I haven't really got into combating modalism and Sabellianism because it's that's something for like oneness Pentecostals and so forth. And that's not as prevalent as a doctrine, but I will get into it. So you're basically screwed either way, Trinitarians. No matter how you translate that verse, you either have to equivocate on the meaning of God, because you don't mean capital God. You don't mean that the word is definitely the God. No, what you mean is the word is a person of God. Right? That's what you mean. One person of the God was with the other person of the God, which it's not the language of the Bible, right? We are not, John does not distinguish. He doesn't use the word prosopon or person, prosopon theou, like person of God. He doesn't use that term to distinguish the Word and God. He distinguishes them by means of the word theos. That's what you guys don't understand. And so the rendering, the word was a God, is actually more in line with the truth, more in line with reality. The New World Translation actually got it right. What you guys want it to mean, in essence, is that the word was divine, but that's taking a predicate nominative, which is always a noun, and transforming it into a predicate adjective. Like Goodspeed's translation does that. It says then the word was divine. But it's a predicate nominative. Our predicates are describing the subject. So it doesn't really make any sense to, first of all, take a predicate nominative, which is always a noun, and then justify turning it into an adjective. Where do you get the justification for that? This is why when you watch the debate between Greg Stafford and Dr. James White, Dr. White can't answer the question whether or not the predicate nominative theos at John 1:1c should be either a definite or an indefinite noun, because whatever his answer is, he's screwed. It doesn't teach Trinitarianism. Guys, get this through your thick skulls. Leave John 1:1 alone, because you look like ignoramuses when you go there and say, well, Jesus is God. Well, what do you mean by that, Jay? What do you mean by that, Sam? What do you mean by that, Dr. White? That he's just shares in the nature of God? Well, that's not what theos means. It means either capital God or a God. And either way you translate that, it doesn't teach your doctrine. Sorry, boys, you lose again.